Welcome to Revelator Trading. In today's video, we got something a little different for you. Usually we start the video with a chart, and in this case, we're starting with a spreadsheet. Today I wanted to have a little discussion with our subscribers or potential subscribers on the topic of probabilities. And to do this exercise, I'm just simply using a coin. I've got a 1967 US quarter. And if you're familiar with U.S. currency, on one side we have a side that we call heads and the other side we call tails. So a coin has two sides. And if you remember basic probability from grade school, you know that the chance of flipping a heads is 1 out of 2, or there's a 50% chance. You're just as likely as not to flip a heads. And so what I've done is I've actually flipped that darn quarter 100 times and logged it here. And so basically I just have sets of 10. I got 10 sets of 10 to give me 100 coin tosses. And I find some very interesting things here. By the way, I apologize if you can hear my turkey. It's Thanksgiving Day 2023, and he's rather glad he's not the one in the oven. So I apologize for any noise that might be coming across in this video. So anyhow, we know that there's that theory, the theory that you're going to get heads 50% of the time, but how does that correlate to practice? Well, you can see in this first column here that basically I've shown the number of heads for the total. So, you know, in the first one, we've flipped it 10 times. Second, we've done 20 until we get down here to 100. And you'll notice the more we flip it, the closer we get to that 50% expected outcome. We actually ended up with 52 and 100, 52% out of 100. But as we keep going, the law of large numbers does tell us that we can expect, you know, as we approach infinite number of flips, we'll get to that 50% expected outcome. Of course, that's all a very gross simplification of that theory or law, whatever you want to call it. You can make this as difficult or as easy as you like. I prefer not to overcomplicate things when they don't need to be, so we're just going to roll with this basic example. So on this column here, I just basically showed how many times we got heads out of each set of 10. And you'll notice right out of the gates, we flipped heads 8 times out of 10. And if we say heads represents a winning trade and tails represents a losing trade, we're starting right out of the gates with an 80% win rate. And, you know, that's something to get excited about if you don't understand very basic probability. So there's a couple different ways this could play out. You know, maybe you took my word and you came right out of the gates paper trading, and you won 8 of those paper trades out of 10, and now you're just dying because you're looking at, well, man, I could have made, you know, a few $100, few $1,000 in this week of trading had I been actually trading. And so the next week you actually load up a trading account and you start trading real money. And that week you win 4 trades out of 10. Hey, if your ratio is right, that can be profitable. And you keep going, and the next week you win 8 out of 10. Things are going good. And then you only win 2 out of 10. You know, by this time your free trial is pretty much up. And you're thinking, oh man, these guys are a bunch of scammers because you didn't properly backtest this and you don't have a basic understanding of how, you know, there's a difference between theoretical probability and how that actually plays out in real life. A lot of people just don't think about that. And something as childish as a coin toss, I feel, can give you a good grasp on that. So get those quarters out, get to flipping them. And don't stop until you understand that it takes a lot of flipping to get to that 50% expected outcome. All right, so by this time, you know, you're saying Revelator sucks, screw you guys, I want my money back, or I'm not paying you. You know, hey, I'd rather not have you if that's how things are going to be. Okay, but I don't want things to be that way. Here's another scenario. Let's just say you come right out of the gates trading capital and you started on this week. I mean, imagine losing 10 trades or 8 trades out of 10. Again, you're going to be pissed. You're going to immediately cancel your subscription. You're not going to want to mess with this. So again, paper trade until you understand this. Paper trade until you are good at paper trading. And then and only then should you think about capital. And again, do so on the advice of a licensed financial advisor. Again, I'm not that guy. So find one. There's plenty of them out there. They'll be more than happy to help you out for a fee. But I tell you what, that fee can be a lot cheaper than what a lot of people go through approaching the market with their money without this basic understanding. So do your homework, show your financial advisor that homework, what you've back tested. Chances are they're going to learn something, and maybe you guys can figure out what percentage of your net worth you can safely trade with. Another thing I'd like to point out is be sure that you back test any asset on any time frame that you plan. Okay, so for example, let me pull this window over here. All right, I got the Tesla 15-minute chart pulled up. All right, so if you're wanting to trade the Tesla 15-minute chart, you need to backtest this. If you want to start trading the hourly chart, man, you got to go back. You got to backtest that too. Just because something works on the 15-minute chart doesn't mean it's going to work the same way on the hourly chart. All right, and let's say, what's another hot stock? NVIDIA. Let's say you want to trade NVIDIA. You want to get in on that action. Same story. I don't care if it's NVIDIA on the 15-minute chart. You better backtest that. You better fully understand. Otherwise, all you're doing is you're gambling. All right, and here, what we're doing is we're establishing probabilities by paper trading. All right, so I'm not saying your win rate's going to be 50%. Sometimes you can have strategies that are 50% win rate. Some of them might only be 20%. Some of them might be 80%. And then you need to determine, is that strategy going to be profitable? So for example, I've got Tesla pulled up over on my other window, and it's suggesting that my winning trades, I'm going to win $4.38 per share, and my losing trades, it's suggesting a stop loss of $2.47. Okay, so let's just say for grins and giggles that we do have a 50% win rate. Well, if you are ultimately over the course of time going to win 50 trades, let's just set this up. You're going to win 50 trades, and each of those 50 trades you're going to win $4.38. And then you have to subtract out your losses. You're going to lose 50 trades, and you're going to lose $2.47 per share on your losses. That tells you that over the course of 100 trades, assuming that 50% average, you should make a $95.50 profit per share of Tesla that you're trading over that course of time. This is, of course, totals. And so if you're trading, one share of Tesla, and I mean, that's not a terrible return. Tesla is trading at $234. I mean, honestly, that's a great return. But you would have missed out on that if you got frustrated here and quit. And again, I'm just using this as an example. You need to actually go through and back test and determine what what probability there is that you're going to have a winner versus a loser. What would happen if, let's just say, you were only right 40% of the time? Well, we can work pretty much the same formula. We're just going to say 40% of 40 trades we're going to win, 60 trades we're going to lose. And we'll say the same amount. Hey, that's a $27 profit. It is a profit. Still not bad. That is not bad at all. That's over a 10% profit over the course of time that it took you to get in those 100 trades. All right, so that kind of gives you an idea of how what you make versus what you lose, and how often you win versus how often you lose, how that affects your profitability or otherwise. But the only way you're going to establish those values is by going back, doing your homework, and paper trading. You should never be trading blind, and you should never trade against the advice of a licensed financial advisor. So again, I can't provide that advice, but what I can do is help you understand how to use our software. And so be sure to watch our other videos on the Pro Analyzer and the Trend Pro Indicator. And if you have any questions on how to use those, if you have any questions on this video on probabilities and where some of these different numbers come from, be sure to ask me. I'll be happy to help you there as well. Those are areas in which I can provide some useful insight. So paper trade, guys and girls, I still paper trade. I trade real capital as well. But anytime that I am uncertain, anytime I have a new theory, an idea that I want to test, I do just that. I test it. I test it by placing a paper trade on my chart. So I hope you find this discussion useful. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to our team. We'll be more than happy to do what we can to help you out. Thanks for watching.